right, welcome back, folks. This is a special edition. We have Dr. Adelena Izold, who is our naturopathic medical doctor, and she's here today to discuss the coronavirus.
Yes.
And first off, let me say, stay calm, right? We're going to get some good information. We're going to talk about how to boost your body's own natural immune system and what you need to do that. As a naturopathic medical doctor, you can help us really get the nutrients and supplements that we need to boost our body. I also want to announce that really welcome to have you at ATL Pain Institute.
Thank you. Yes,
and
it's been a pleasure starting up there, being a new doc. And
yeah, we had you on the show before when you were doing your residency, and we like what you had to offer.
I appreciate it.
And you're also my niece, I can now say.
All right. Well, nepotism at its prime here.
All right. So let's get to the facts. Let's find out what's happening. I know.
Yeah, and the facts are challenging to find. You when you're looking up coronavirus, it's all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are in scares. They're saying stock up and get all the tuna and all the canned goods and all these things. But there was a really interesting article on Psychology Today that they were talking about that they're depicting it as almost worse than it is. And when, as a normal instinct to us, is to almost see the worst and say, oh, we have to over-prepare because they're sending pictures of, in China, the people with the face masks and all that thing and everything. So
yeah, I love how they're spraying down the streets and things like that.
Yeah, they're making it look so extensive that almost in our nature, we have to over-dramatize it and over-prepare because you don't want to be that person that if it were to happen.
Mm-hmm. So I did see that Psychology Today article. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's bad. That's Siri. Yeah, Siri wants to work with us. So,
but what people don't understand.
Let me just say that I went to Target to get some hand sanitizer for our clinic, and
it's all
gone. It's gone. Do you see like a little bit of this is like a little hand sanitizer is like $90?
But that's actually not the best, most effective way to prevent it. They're actually saying hand washing, hand hygiene in itself is essential. So 30 seconds of actually washing your hands, getting in those crevices of your nails. And so a lot of our workers, they're like, oh, we need hand sanitizer. It's like, no, this is the best way is to wash your hands. That's actually even above the masks that you see everyone wearing because it's spread through respiratory droplets. So basically, if you were to cough in your hand and then we shook hands and then I touched my face, it's on you. So
right.
So that's kind of what they're stating is that prevention is key. Ways that you can manage, is just good hand hygiene.
Which, what I've been told is you want to, as you're washing your hands, you want to sing happy birthday twice, which can be difficult. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I did it the last couple days and I'm like, happy birthday, it's a long time, but it's essential. And like you said, I think people are freaking out a little bit and getting, 2 weeks of toilet paper and 2 weeks of tuna fish and whatever else they're stocking up. And it's a little, we don't want people to overreact, but we also want them to prepare, right, for what can happen.
So what people don't understand is that coronavirus is actually a family of viruses, okay? So they can all cause respiratory infections, which it all starts off as like mild symptoms. So that's the problem is a lot of patients just think it's just a cough or I have a little bit of something, and then they're not dying of the coronavirus. They're dying of things like pneumonia or respiratory distress, things like that.
Because they're not catching it quick enough.
Because they're not catching it quick enough. There are
yes.
Take a break.
There's like five. There's symptoms.
They've recently designed a diagnostic kit that they're sending out and now is available to the public because it is so new and it is so ever changing that, we definitely don't have a vaccine. That was a lot of questions that I received on my posts. They were saying, do we have a vaccine for this? No, they're working on it. But at the end of the day, we need to, if patients are coming into your clinic with upper respiratory symptoms, you need to check using the diagnostic kit and seeing if that is possible.
So let's go through some of the things. What are some of the signs? Because what I'm finding and hearing and reading is that people have been tested for 2 different times over a 2-week period, coming back negative, and all of a sudden there's a positive test and now they have it.
Because there are no specific signs or symptoms. That's why for doctors it's very difficult to accurately diagnose it. But the signs and symptoms that you should be looking for is fever, cough, shortness of breath, and difficulty breathing. Okay, and it's very difficult to differentiate from other acute respiratory viral diseases. Okay, so what we have seen is that the majority of infections of people that are infected with human coronavirus can have the mild respiratory tract illnesses. And
does it start with a sore throat? How do we
more congestion, cough, things like that, fever? That's basic. Like you might think, oh, I'm getting the flu or anything like that. But then those mild illnesses, 20% of those tend to progress to things like pneumonia or actual respiratory distress.
Shout out to my youngest daughter, Adelena Diduro, who's a sophomore at Kennesaw State University here in Atlanta. And she came down with, she came down with strep throat. And at the time, she was like, I have coronavirus. And she was freaking out. And I'm like, oh, you would be number one in Georgia.
Yeah, because right now, the biggest outbreak is in Wuhan, China.
What a terrible dad.
But there has been person-to-person transmissions in Singapore, Thailand, Japan, Germany, Italy, and now United States. There was 2 in Fulton County here that were
and so some of these obviously are coming from, I heard they were in Milan at the fashion week and coming back. My daughter Isabella, my oldest one, was telling me, and they might have, northern Italy is a bad outbreak. There's areas of Iran that, people are not getting the proper data and information to protect themselves. So you grew up in Italy. Is there
I think it's mostly because of the traveling, like you said, Milan, Rome, like places like that. There's everyone from other countries bringing that in.
I'm concerned because we're supposed to be in Vienna in end of June, and I don't know now. Like a lot of companies, like IBM and some of the bigger companies, are stopping all travel.
Holders, everything, everything is going down.
And even our TRT company and our parent company in Germany, MTS, they're not even able to ship their devices to China right now. So what the good thing is, we're actually getting more of the TRT devices here in the States, but that's one side of it.
But people don't understand that there were similar outbreaks of other coronaviruses, like SARS, right? And then MERS, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. So basically, I have some graph of the numbers. So SARS was in 2002, and there was 8,000 roughly cases of that.
Okay.
And there was 774 deaths.
Wow.
Okay.
What's that
and
percentage?
And that spread to 29 countries versus MERS was in 2012, and that was 2,400 deaths roughly, cases, sorry, and 858 deaths. So, and that spread to 28 countries. The Wuhan, which is the coronavirus currently, is in 2020, 8,100 cases and 170 deaths. So very low death count with that, but it has spread to 20 countries and growing.
Let me ask these guys, because they're a little younger. Do you remember the Wuhan clan? There's a Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.
I get confused.
Please edit that out.
I'm sorry. So Wuhan is the area in China where this originated. Let's talk about the origination, because the open market. I mean, we're getting a lot
that's what they were saying, is that it spread from animals to humans because they've been working close with seafood markets and animal markets, and so
originally it came from bats, correct?
Well, they're saying it is zootonic. They're not saying it's bats, unless they were selling bats. Then I missed that in my research.
But
see, that's what I mean. Everyone's hearing different things, and that's what makes it so challenging and scary, because everybody looks at Nurse Facebook or
So one of the things I heard is that the bats in these open markets, which is in every country has these type of open markets, and they sometimes have live animals, and the animals are freaking out because they're all close together, and hopefully the bats were dead. I don't know, but it's another. It transferred from the bat to another one that's like an armadillo, and I forget the name of the. It kind of starts with a P, like
possum.
No, it wasn't a possum, but it's something in China. And then
panda?
No, we'll look it up for you on the next at our break. But what they're saying is then the humans actually ate that thing that's like the armadillo of China, and that's how it was transferred to humans, because it didn't go right from the bats.
And now that's what it started as a zootonic, which means like animals to humans, and now we're having human to human transmission, and that's what the scary.
One of the questions we got from our Facebook live questions was, can we get this from eating Chinese food?
I mean, if it is pretty authentic, you might. If you're eating bats and armadillos, maybe.
Well, yeah, if you're in China, maybe. But we should rest assured that you can still order from your local Chinese food.
And before we finish up, I also want to make sure that we understand, like preparation is a big deal, but it's also prevention, right? So 5 things you can do to lower your chances of getting sick in general would be boosting your vitamin D, because that blocks viral entry into your body.
Mm-hmm.
Elderberry syrup lowers influenza and other viruses, so the risk of getting that. Echinacea, take at first signs of sickness, helps resolve quicker. Probiotics, we know a healthy microbiome equals a healthy immune system. And golden seal, which is antimicrobial and helps boost immune response.
Okay. Well, on our next episode, we'll go over hygiene, preparation, and you just went over immunity support. And we'll just talk about what to do, right, to prevent this. Welcome back, folks, to Free My Pain Now with Dr. Matt Doduro. And today we have Dr. Adelena Izold.
Yes.
And we're on the second half of episode 30. We're talking today about the coronavirus and what you can do at home to prepare for it. Some of the things I was going to talk about was lifestyle, right? Get enough sleep. We talk about this over and over. You need at least 7 hours of sleep per night.
7 to 9 hours.
7 to 9. And you want to exercise regularly. Why is that important?
Well, circulation, sweating, making sure you're detoxing, any of those.
Okay. I mean, it's good for your body, your cardiovascular.
Yeah.
Improve your air quality. Viruses dislike humid air, so use humidifiers. HEPA filters decrease the number of viruses particles in the air.
Yes.
And then meditate. Apparently.
Well, deep breathing. That's
deep
what they're
breathing,
with that,
meditate.
like cleaning that CO2 oxygen out.
And this is from Dr. Oz, so I know it's good. And then we're going to go through hygiene again, because handshakes no more. I mean, you can do elbow bumps.
Yeah, even at my church, they sent out an email stating that, when we do the sign of peace, you have to just suspend the sign of peace and no longer shake hands.
Eliminate face touching. Apparently, President Trump said he hasn't touched his face in weeks, which is amazing. That's what somebody else said. Fingers transfer the virus, right? So like sucking on fingers. Triple your hand washing time. I'm doubling it. And then disinfect surfaces, right? That's important. We've been going through a lot of Lysol at our clinics, and it's tough because we have a busy clinic. We're seeing a lot of people. We are hands-on in a lot of things that we do.
And Lysol, actually, if you look on the label, it says coronavirus is one of the viruses that it's able to
buy stock.
kill.
Samuel, I want to buy some stock.
And think about that.
Essie Johnson.
Think about how much money they're making in this country, at least, because they're saying, oh, be careful, make sure you stock up on this, this, and this. So the masks, the Lysol, the everything like that is, those companies are booming right now because they're making all that profit. So who knows if this is,
let's not get into any of those, those conspiracy theories. I mean, this is, it's kind of sad because in Wuhan, where this started, the first doctor that actually recognized it, and I forget his name, but he literally alerted the authorities, and they kind of kept it undercover. And he has now passed away.
Yeah, they said that maybe out of the 29,000 or 2,900 that they said at the originated amount of people cases, there might have been 29,000.
Oh, wow.
But they're just trying to keep it on the DL.
Right, down low. And then that armadillo type of animal. It was what?
A papagillo.
So we'll show a picture of that. That is a pangolin. Pangolin, yeah.
Darn it, I thought it was papagillo.
I thought you were the expert here
Me
today.
too, I don't know.
All right, so again, we're looking at what we can do, preparation, have a 2-week supply of essential items, including household supplies like toilet paper, soap, detergent. Try to have your pantry full of freezer-friendly items. Make sure the people who are on prescriptions or over-the-counter medications have their supplies for that.
Yeah.
And then again, immunity support. One of the cool things that you're doing for our staff and our patients
is intravenous nutritional therapy, so IV therapy.
I got one last week.
Yes, and you had additional glutathione too to boost and fight off those free radicals, so that
Awesome.
was good.
And what are you talked about free radicals the first time you were on this show? Tell me again a little bit. What are free radicals?
Free radicals is basically when your cells are being turned over and there's an excess amount of damage, normal things like toxins from the environment, your cells spit out free radicals, and basically antioxidants' job is to go and grab those free radicals and get them out of your body.
What's the difference between free radicals and oxidation? Do you know?
Not very much, actually.
Okay, so like
they go hand in hand.
So if we cut an apple right in half, and you guys have all seen this, the apple after 30 minutes or an hour will start to brown a little bit. That's oxidative.
Yes.
That's oxidation. Metal, right? When it's out for
Rusted,
years,
yes.
it rusts. And the thing about, we got a message from one of our docs down who's in Florida who has an anti-aging clinic, and he said, hey, I like the lithotripsy device on my older patients on their hands and feet. He's using the reflexology points, using the shockwave to help boost the immune system. And I thought, that's cool.
Well, and also the antimicrobial actions of when we use it on ulcers and things like that. So think if you're utilizing that on your hands,
That's right.
It's like amplified hand washing.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know as much about the bottom of your feet, but
well, I mean, the reflexology points, right? Those have been around for 2,000 points. You do acupuncture as well.
Yes. But back to the IV therapy, I mean, we're offering that to all of our patients and trying to boost their immune system. So hopefully that they can feel confident that they're strong, their immune system is strong enough to fight whatever comes their way.
So who's most at risk for this?
So they tend to see the age ranges is 30 to 79, and men tend to actually be more at risk. There's not much research supporting why, but they're saying it tends to be more men-based.
Your lovely son, Liam, who's 14 months now?
Yes.
Thank God, children, because a lot of times it's the children, the infants, and the elderly that are most at risk.
And the reason why children they're saying are immune, it's because typically because it's a respiratory distress type of condition, it's mostly if you already have a predisposing condition that makes that worse. So if you have a little asthmatic child, their likelihood of getting this and beating it is harder. Or like an older hospitalized elderly who has pneumonia, is in the hospital for pneumonia, their risk of, if they came in contact with this, of dying is greater.
Their immune systems are weaker.
Yes.
Why don't you ask me this? What's your immune system?
What do you mean?
Just ask me.
What is your immune system?
Your immune system is your defense mechanism, because there's constantly antigens and foreign invaders trying to get into your body.
Yes.
So I liked, if people can remember, the Star Trek Enterprise always had this cool force field around it, right? Mm-hmm. And, if the aliens were attacking them, it would weaken that force field. And that's the same thing with our bodies.
And I have to ask you a question. Where does about 85% of our immune system stem from?
Our nervous system.
Incorrect.
What?
Your GI tract. That's why when I stated that probiotics are, healthy immune system, healthy microbiome, healthy immune system, because about 85% of our immune system stems from our gut. So a lot of our patients that, have poor GI health, they're more likely to have a weaker immune system.
Wow. I know the immune system is, there's interrelated. You cannot separate your immune system from your nervous system. So we're going to have our fact checkers check that. But I do believe you on the gut health. That's so important. The gut brain. Dr. Perlmutter is such an amazing, he's a neurologist, and he wrote The Grain Brain.
That connection.
The grain brain. And he's out of New York City. And the coolest thing about him is he has people from all over the country that come in with ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease, with neuropathies, with multiple sclerosis, with Parkinson's disease. Do you know what the first thing he does for all these patients? He takes them off dairy, takes them off wheat products. He puts them on basically the keto, the modified keto diet that you're helping a lot of our patients with.
Yeah, basically an anti-inflammatory diet, removing common allergens that research shows these are inflammatory foods to us, right? So like gluten, cow's milk, dairy, oftentimes peanuts, soy are in there as well. and, genetically modified crops. So that's why soy is in there, corn, canola oil, things like that. So
I would say like that most people could benefit from a low inflammatory diet to help boost their immune system as well.
Definitely.
Would you agree?
yes, of
All
course.
right. So we concur on that. I like that word. We concur on that. All right, guys, what were you looking up over there? What did we see? Right. So we have bacteria, good and bad bacteria inside our gut biome and through our digestive system.
And when
outside.
that system gets thrown off, that's the
C.
called
diff.
dysbiosis.
I had a buddy of mine who got C. diff after a strong round of antibiotics.
Wow.
C. diff is
Clostridium difficile, and basically you get terrible diarrhea because it is
he couldn't keep anything
a
down.
spore-based
And you wouldn't believe
bacteria.
what the options were for him.
fecal transplant is a really high on that list.
Isn't that wild? Yeah. So they actually
And
they
you guys
take
are
good poop
surprised.
from somebody.
Yeah, so they take somebody with a healthy microbiome, and there's testings out there that can demonstrate that, and then you place that inside somebody else. And
Our digestive system is all these little microbes anyways, right? And there's always this ratio of how your body is healing with it.
I mean, people turn around like 180 amazingly
when they get that.
transitions. Yeah, when they get that. But they
So
have to be really sick.
when I had the H. pylori bacteria, which was, they
Life-changing
say
for
that
you.
50% of the population has H. pylori
In the
bacteria
United States?
in the world.
I was going to say in the world, because a
But
lot of third world countries.
There's a constant balance, right? And so when things get out of balance, and you get this overgrowth of these bad bacteria, or they start taking over, that's when people have problems. And their immune systems are weakened. They're much more susceptible.
And that's how it ties all the way back in here with the coronavirus. You just want to make sure that what you're putting in your body is low inflammatory and good food to feed that good microbiome to support your immune system.
Yes, I just ordered some elderberry, which I'm really excited about. Dr. Bernstein recommended it to help boost the immune system.
And Dr. Izold.
And Dr. Izold as well. If you're sick, you want to be taking zinc, 800 milligrams daily. You
With
want to get
food, please.
With food. And vitamin C as well, about 250 milligrams twice daily. You okay with that?
That's a pretty low dose.
Okay. Beta glucan, 250 milligrams daily. And then the elderberry comes in either syrup, lozenge, or 4 times a day for 5 days to boost the immune system.
Yeah.
That wraps up episode 30. Thank you so much. I don't touch it.